Good morning.
Morning.
Or evening, Moya. Half of my Google searches are, what time is it in Australia? I'm not exercising yet today. Just hanging out was easy here. You earned my trust last year, by the way, by not publishing publicly some of the things that I and others said down this discussion. So thank you.
That's what we like to hear.
In December of 2022, the soccer world was devastated by the unexpected and tragic death of Grant Wahl. His passing hit particularly close to home among the Best XI family, where Grant had served as a member of the advisory board since the program's creation.
I just think Meg is the standard bearer right now.
These are all really good nominees, Moya. Atma seems pretty incredible. No one can match what Jeff's done in terms of covering the women's game.
Don't worry about me, guys. If you don't want to include a journalist this year, I'm fine with that. You know.
And I would also include, in full disclosure, I went to high school with her in Kansas City. Angie Long.
I'm also thinking about future years and do we want to sort of have this diversity of function and what people do be the case in future years?
He was essentially a pillar of this platform, a founding member. He was my first call every year for the board because he was eager and excited. He responded to my emails the quickest. He was always available, always willing to help, always willing to share.
I almost expect him to pop up on the Zoom, wearing his headband.
I miss him, and we'll carry on his legacy through this platform, but it's different without him.
But Grant's legacy has lived on in so many ways, most powerfully through the people who carry his spirit, his passion, and the traits he held most dear. There is no better personification of that than Anne O'Dong.
As for my other nomination, Moya could also speak to this person, but Anne O'Dong does Australia actually put in a World Cup bid without, someone like Anne kind of quietly working behind the scenes for a lot of years. So
Anne's a total legend. I love her.
My name is Anne O'Dong and I'm the Media and PR Manager for Australia's women's national teams. I grew up in a family background where when we came to Australia, we didn't have anything. We were refugees. We landed in a country that we'd never been to. My parents started with nothing and worked up. There was always this sense of who am I and what am I? And what the game gave me was a sense of purpose, a sense of mission. I played for a couple of years until I started uni, where I did law and journalism. And from there on, I started reporting in the West Australian State League. After that, 2008 came around and we had the W League start. I remember going to the very first game. It was Perth Glory against Sydney FC. I just remember everything about that game, the first goal, and just thinking something special is starting here. And around that time, I started the Women's Game website. I started that in my bedroom with an old MacBook Pro. I just used to sit in my bedroom after work, come home and write about the game. During my lunch times, I would call players and clubs for interviews. For the next couple of years, it was a wonderful journey of travelling the world. I would use my own personal leave from my work as well as money. The mission was always the same, is get people to know and learn and love the game as much as we did.
In 2018, Anne joined Football Australia as a campaign coordinator and worked her way up to her current role as the media manager for all senior and youth Australian women's national teams.
I have a really eclectic job. Like sometimes I can be at a commercial launch, or other times I'm with one of our U17 players going to a school or a hospital. Or other times I can be sitting with a player with the world's media in front of them at a World Cup or Olympics. I get to sit at my desk every day and think about how can I make sure everybody knows who the Matildas are. I can say, sitting here, I am nothing without the people who lifted me up along the way. Every single time I get to a major tournament or I am at a milestone game, I just take that moment to either message someone or call someone to say thank you, and also to hopefully bring them into the moment as well. And so for me, I'm always take the moment to be grateful and to thank those people that allowed me to be able to sit here today.
For Anne, like so many others, one of those people was Grant Wahl.
I first met Grant in 2011 at the Women's World Cup in Germany in the Media Tribune at the Women's World Cup final. I think I spent probably about 15 minutes working up the nerve to go and say hello to him. The one thing I remember was he was never dismissive. I mean, I'm sure there were probably dozens of people that were saying hello to him that day, especially with the US in a final. But even for the 3 minutes he took to talk to me in that very first one, it made me feel valued. You know, here's somebody who I look up to, who a lot of people in the football community look up to, and he's taking that 3 minutes to have a conversation with me. The next time we met each other was at the 2015 Women's World Cup, and by then we'd been speaking on Twitter, DMs on and off for a while. We were in the same group, Australia and the USA in Winnipeg, and I got to spend a lot more time with him. Again, as it is, every 4 years we met up again in France, and we're able to spend a lot more time together then. And we were really looking forward to 2023. I remember the night we won the bid, he sent me a message and just spoke about, really looking forward to being in Australia. And we never got there, but so incredibly grateful to him. It's fitting that when we think about Grant, we don't always think about his writing, but we think about the fact that he was a good person. I love women's football. I love the power behind it, the passion. I love the enormous community built by it. And all of that is not done by accident. All of that is done by people who have values and have a mission for the game. And we all come together and put our best selves within it, and hopefully want to leave the game better than when we all entered it. And ultimately that's what Grant did. He left his mark on women's football. We are in the space we are because of people like Grant, who told our stories, probably fought with numerous editors of why we had value, why our game had value, why our stories had value. To be connected to his legacy and to help the next generation, it means everything. It means absolutely everything.